Deshaun Watson was just named to the Texans' 53-man roster. Can you believe it? What does this mean for the Texans? Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video on Manav Sports Talk. I am your host Manav, and in this video I'm talking all about the Deshaun Watson situation here in Houston. And the fact is that he was just named to the 53-man roster, or 52-man roster if you want to call it, because Deshaun's not playing, right? For the Houston Texans today, the regular season is about 2 weeks away for the Texans. Season opener on Sunday, September 12th at home against Jacksonville. The news came out today that he'll be kept on the team roster, which means that most likely he's not going to be traded throughout the regular season this year. He's going to be on the Texans team. That was the news coming out today. If you guys are still trying to grapple your minds around this Deshaun Watson situation, I know it's a lot to take in. There's so many different pieces going here and there, and it's a lot to try and figure out and understand. So let me try and make it simpler for you. Deshaun signed a 4-year, $156 million contract extension last September before the season started, and then after the season he requested a trade on January 28th, less than 24 hours after new head coach David Culley was hired. And then from that point on, the Texans were looking to trade Deshaun. They obviously wanted to keep him, but he wouldn't budge. And then from March 16th to April 14th, about 22 different lawsuits were filed against Deshaun Watson for harassment and assault. There's been a Houston Police Department report, and now the FBI is also investigating. And this is by far the only reason why Deshaun Watson has not been traded yet, because of this investigation currently going on. Because if he's arrested or if he's detained, whatever. I'm not the expert in that kind of stuff. Don't ask me. I'm just hearing what I'm just writing what I'm hearing. But if he's gonna get arrested, I mean, teams are going to be so disappointed. They're not going to get what they wanted from him. If he's not going to play, I mean, you're basically ruining the whole point of the trade. Teams want assurance of draft compensation if they're going to be trading for Deshaun Watson. And they like to wait it out here to see how the lawsuits are going to be going. And then trades, you might start hearing more about trades. There have been a lot of talks, about the Miami Dolphins. Those are just, hot air. It's not really much depth to that kind of talk yet. If you're hearing that, it's not really anything that you definitely need to be paying attention for, because look, no team's going to trade for him until this situation sorts itself out, and it's going to be taking a while. I mean, you don't see light at the end of the tunnel at all here. And now for the trades, I mean, if the Texans are going to be trading Deshaun at some point, to me, you need at least 4 first-round picks and a second-round pick, or what the Texans are wanting, 3 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks. I'd want some kind of good player. Look, a lot of people are saying it has to be quarterback for quarterback. It does not have to be quarterback for quarterback. I mean, look, the Texans are projected to be the worst team in the league this year. Most likely they'll draft number 1 and pick Spencer Rattler in next season's draft, right, as QB1. You don't need quarterback for quarterback. Like, if you're trading Deshaun to Miami, you don't need Tua Tagovailoa to come here and play QB if he's not going to be fitting here for the Texans, right? So that's really what it's playing out. There are about 4 teams are really interested that you could say are speculating from: the Broncos, the Panthers, the Eagles, and the Dolphins. Those are the 4 teams. And if you're wondering why Deshaun requested the trade in that first place, I mean, this situation is just ridiculously complicated. If you don't get it, I mean, I understand, man. It's so hard to get your head around all this nonsense, honestly. But basically what happened was about the Texans lying to him. Cal McNair lied to him. The entire organization lied to him on he used the player's choice to talk to management. Management never talked to him. They never talked to him before DeAndre Hopkins got traded. They never talked to him about the new GM, Nick Caserio, coming in. Even though Nick Caserio has done a tremendous job, Deshaun wanted his input on. He felt like he betrayed him, and he wanted a trade. Okay, and then after all this lawsuits, I don't know whose side to take, really. I don't know if Deshaun's at fault or not. It's still a lot to go through. I don't know what's going to be going on for the next couple of months. Who knows how long this investigation will take. But hopefully, Deshaun seemed like a good guy. He may not be charged, and then teams will get traded. He'll get traded for at some point, because the Texans would like to do that, because there's no point being where they are right now. And now talking about Deshaun at this point, what the Texans are doing at this point is they're keeping him on the roster, on the 53-man roster, not doing anything. He's a third-string quarterback. He's not doing anything on the roster. But he's going to be paid $10 million this year to do nothing, which is really, really stupid, honestly. Paid $10 million to do nothing, just attend meetings. I mean, he's been doing that throughout training camp. We've seen he's been attending training camp throughout the entirety of training camp just to avoid being fined $50,000 per day. So that's the reason why he was there. Obviously, we didn't want to be there. He was, doing quarterback reps with the receivers. He was there. I don't think he was fully involved necessarily. But, there's been plenty of media attention with him. Media reporters are literally flocking to see, Deshaun Watson arrived at practice. Here's Deshaun Watson throwing a pass. I mean, just chill out a little bit. I think it's a little too unnecessary. Deshaun also is getting fed up with that. I understand that. But to me, at this point, I just don't see any point really keeping him on the roster for just leaving him there. They have a couple of options, the Texans. Number one, force Deshaun to play, which is something, honestly, I would do. I know that's a bit of aggressive approach. Because, I'm not giving up $10 million just for no reason, just for him to be there and do nothing, right? Right? If you say, Deshaun, it's time, man. If you want to play, you got to play right now. If he doesn't want to play, okay, fine, we'll fine you. We'll fine you, and we'll suspend you, and we'll remove your guaranteed money. How do you like that? I mean, because, look, he's not going to earn as much money if he doesn't play, right? I think that's something you put in here. I think this is a really aggressive move. I think this is something the Texans don't want to do necessarily. They may be too lazy to do it. Also, they don't want a really horrible relationship with Deshaun because, going back here, you're going to be causing back and forth, bad tension between both sides of the parties. I mean, that's not the kind of direction you want to be heading in because honestly, what's the point of doing that? Getting in a fight with Deshaun, you don't pay him $10 million, but I mean, you suspend him. You go through all that process. What's the point? I mean, you're on a team that's rebuilding. What is Deshaun going to do? You got 4 wins last year. He doesn't want to play, right? What's the point? Number 2 pretty much is what they're doing right now, honestly, which, after thinking about it for me, I think this is probably the best move the Texans could make considering all the blunders they've made before. I mean, it's embarrassing, but what they're doing isn't too bad. They just don't want a horrible relationship. They'll keep him on the roster. They'll keep him there. And then when he's ready to be traded, they can get their assets, right? Number 3 is a trade. That's not going to happen. I already talked about that. Teams are not giving Houston enough value for Deshaun. Number 4 is move him to the IR. Honestly, they could do that too. I think that's a decent option to make room for another player because right now it's a 52-man roster, not a 53-man roster because Deshaun's not playing, right? So you can get room for another player. So those are the options right now. Honestly, what they're doing right now seems to be the right way to go at it. I mean, it's a very complicated situation until these accusations get figured out. The jury, FBI, NFL has not gotten involved yet in this right now because he's not on the commissioner's list. The NFL cannot get involved while the FBI is investigating. I mean, the NFL is investigating, but they're not really making any significant moves here. They haven't even talked to Deshaun, honestly. So, look, they're not going to do much right now. I mean, he's not suspended. He's healthy. He can play, but he's not willing to play. The Texans don't want to get in a fight with him unnecessarily, go through all that hassle. What good is it going to do? You just want to keep him there until he can be traded. Honestly, it's just such a disappointment. It's so unfortunate to see such a talented, such a superstar player to not see him play this year. I mean, especially in this scenario of being accused of assault and whatnot. It just sad, honestly, because Deshaun is such a great player. I'd love to see him play. He led the league in passing yards last season, 4,823 yards. He had 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 70% completion, 440 rushing yards with 3 touchdowns, 71 QBR. I mean, there's no end in sight right now. It's just unfortunate, man, to see what's going on right now in the Deshaun Watson situation. So if you guys enjoyed, hope I made it very clear to you what's going on for Deshaun Watson. If you enjoyed this video, please don't hit the like, subscribe, enable notifications, comment in the comment section what your thoughts are on Deshaun, and I hope to see you in the next video.